Riley, today was it felt like the most intense day of practice. How good do practice like that feel to kind of ease into so that we really get this game?
Really good. This is our third day with full pads, and you can tell that guys are starting to get used to the pads. We're flying around, the speed is increasing, and it's good for us. We're getting better through that.
Well, how do you feel about just the depth of the secondary? I mean, it was strong last year, and now you've added and Darren as well.
Yeah, it's good to have depth, especially at that position, and it's making us better. Having someone behind you and learning from them and being able to teach them things as well, I think is beneficial for everyone from the last guy in the room to Pat Surtain. So.
What's your analysis specifically about a lot of different players have said that he seems like he's already really well into his way to kind of that already.
Yeah. He's smart. He's came in, in the training room in terms of like recovery stuff. He knows what to do. He's gotten a routine, which is kind of the biggest learning curve. Obviously, when you come into the NFL, is you have so much time. How are you going to spend that time? And he's spent that time well, I think, rehabbing and stuff like that, and also just picking up the defense. I think, he's smart and he understands, where his help is at, and that's nice too, having him out there. You can trust him, and it helps all of us.
When you studied your film from last year, what did you take from it that you wanted to focus on and improve heading into this year?
Yeah, I think, the point of attack, when the ball's up in the air, some of those 50-50 balls, being stronger, not getting pushed off. And that was a big thing for me this offseason was, getting bigger, getting stronger, being able to, push against the receiver and be a little bit more physical.
Playing opposite of Pat's not for the weak because you're going to get targeted. What did you learn from that, and do you still expect that again this year? Yeah,
it's going to be, as long as I'm across from, DPOY, it's going to be like that, and I love the challenge. It makes it fun. It makes it fun to come into work knowing, it's on me. I'm going to be on an island, and what can I do? And that's what I think makes this game so beautiful, and why I love the position that I'm in.
Riley, you talked about versatility. You individually feel like there are things that you can use, like inside, outside, maybe a couple years ago or last year? How is your versatility?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just patience and trusting my speed. Because I came from Iowa and we played a good amount of zone and we taught man a little bit differently. And so when I got here, I learned a lot from Pat in terms of staying square at the line, being physical at the line, being patient, and I've grown a lot in that aspect.
Getting bigger, stronger. How much weight did you add?
So I was sitting at the end of the season. I was like 193, 194. Weighed in first day of camp at 200 pounds. So I've put on some good muscle. Only put on body fat percentage. I only put on like 0.4% body fat. So it was good.
With pads on last 3 days, what sort of impact do you feel that having in your life?
Yeah, I think, especially going against Court, Court's a strong receiver at the top. He likes to kind of push off, and, they're not going to call that. It's an offensive game, right? So you got to be able to play into him and play strong, and that's been the best work that I've gotten, especially in one-on-ones, is against Court and going against the top of the route.
Right, you came in with Marvin. You came in with Marvin in the same draft class. What makes him a uniquely challenging cover, particularly as he's kind of had more added to his play offensively?
Yeah, he's a fast guy, right? He's linear. He'll get out. So you got to make sure, if you're playing off, you gotta know when to open up, and then he'll sit it down too. He'll run the curl, and then also him as a jet guy motioning across, and you're in man, and you're trying to get across the defense, and so he's got a lot of different traits to him that I think are good, and his speed is definitely the best.
Speaking of another receiver, looks like Troy Franklin's taking a stab at his weight. What do you think about how he's looked so far?
Yeah, his releases from last year to this year have improved a lot, and you can see it in one-on-ones, and it's been good work for us because there's a lot of guys like that in the league who are twitchy off the line and then can get out and run. So it's helped us a lot as a defense being able to see that.
Has your secondary noticed that it's a different type of receiver this year? What have you noticed that's different about it this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, I do think they have gotten better, and I think slowly we are getting better as well. And I think it's kind of an iron sharpens iron type of deal. And as they get better, that's just going to make us even better. And I think it's great for everyone.
I think the other addition to the secondary is Bunga. What has he been like that you've seen on the field and off the field?
Yeah, I'll say this. So he's a great football player. He's an even better person. He's like after practice, he's always around talking to parents and getting to meet everyone. And I think that's really cool, especially for, as a team, you got to be able to trust the guy next to you. And this guy just came in, this year and we're already really, really close. And I think that's really important. And then on the field, really smart player, instinctual, great feet. He's patient. So he's a great addition to our defense.